shit's in the safe. Got me a spot out the way. Nigga just tryna be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Pick up on a thought that you and I have shared over the last couple of days. I think that Tom Brady's legacy is relatively secure, regardless of what happens going forward. But what is at stake for Bill Belichick with the perception that he, Belichick, wanted to try and prove this without Brady? What do you think is at stake for him going forward here in the short term with the Pats?
Yeah, that's the key, the short term. Belichick has a chance to look bad here, right? Because Brady has left the cupboard bare. Garoppolo's gone. Garoppolo was the first guy that Belichick, of all the backup quarterbacks that went through, that Belichick looked like he was truly grooming to take Brady's place one day. And you could see why. Garoppolo almost never loses when he starts games. And by the way, has certain things in common with Brady, especially quick decision-making, quick release. And he's gone. So Brady left the cupboard bare for Belichick. They don't have a lot of cap room and all this. At the same time, Brady parachutes into a really, really good situation offensively. And so in the short term, it has the chance to look bad for Belichick. Of course, Belichick's a coach. He can coach for years and years and years. He's changed with the times. So over the long haul, it'll look good for Belichick, I suspect.
It's just going to be a tough outing. He's a good coach. They still going to probably be a solid team this upcoming season, but it's not going to be the same how you think it's going to be the same. Without Tom Brady right there, the brains of that offense, not right there, that could distribute everything, could take in players that get plugged into the system and make them some good players out there, and not having him in that offense is going to look a lot different. It's going to be a lot difficulty because when you get that new quarterback, you got to do something that fits him. At least something that's going to be able to help him keep the Patriots being successful. And you got to put more weapons around him. Just having Mohamed Sanu and Julian Edelman is not going to be enough. Like they got to figure out a situation to help that next quarterback out once he come and be the new starter of that team, because those are big shoes you gotta fill. Because it take everything and make the Patriots look a lot different. You gotta see how this team operate without Tom Brady back there at the helm.
But even this season, Mike, we saw what Mike Tomlin did without a quarterback. He won 8 games. And Mike Tomlin's a future Hall of Famer as a coach. But Belichick's the greatest coach of all time. He's better than Tomlin. He's better than everyone. So if Tomlin can go 8-8, I suspect Belichick, even if it's Stidham or some makeshift kind of quarterback situation, Belichick can win double digits. He won 11 games with Matt Castle.
What do you think is the best scenario? Dan Orlovsky just ran through a couple of the options. You mentioned Stidham. He mentioned Josh Rosen. He mentioned Jacoby Brissett. Guys like Jameis Winston and Cam Newton are still out there. What do you think is Belichick's best bet this year?
I wonder if Stafford's available still, because Detroit won 3 games. People can say whatever they want about, well, Detroit really wants to win this year, and they always seem to want to win. Stafford has elite talent, but is underachieved compared to his talent, at least in terms of playoff success. And he is the most talented guy who maybe could be available. And I also would say that otherwise the model, the Brady model, the Garoppolo model, look at quarterbacks who process quickly and get rid of the ball quickly. That seems to be his quarterback of choice.
All right, Max Kellerman, we will see you and Steve and company coming up in just a few.
If they can land Matthew Stafford, that's a big difference. Now you have a solid quarterback back there. He ain't no Tom Brady, but it make a big difference because you have Matthew Stafford as your quarterback, but you still got to put the weapons around him to be able to help him out. Because you see what happened with him in Detroit. Like, and you gotta be able to have some guys around him. You see the difference with Tom Brady not having them guys out there, even though he still figured out a way to get them to the playoffs, but you see the struggle that he was having because of the wide receiver core that he had around him. if you get Matthew Stafford, you got to put at least some guys around him. But that will make it a little bit different if you get Matthew Stafford.
2 minutes for First Take. Thank you, my man. That's coming up next here on ESPN. Meanwhile, let me finish up with Dan and Swagoo here. Dan, I know that you wanted to jump in when Marcus and I were talking about Brady and the notion of him being better off in the NFC, running away from the AFC. Some might describe it. What was it you wanted? What was the point you wanted to make there?
Yeah, Greeny, I'm sitting here listening to Marcus talk, and he's talking about, like, no one's going to think about him. You always look at, like, somebody, and when they take the harder route, we look at it differently. Marcus, you live in Dallas, correct?
Yes.
When you go to New York, how do you get to New York, Marcus?
I take a flight. First class, by the way.
Why do you take a plane? Why do you take a
Because
plane?
I can get there faster. I can get there faster.
Because you can get there easier. It's the smarter thing to do. You don't run. You don't take a train. You don't ride your bicycle. You take a plane because it's the easier way to get to your destination. It doesn't make you softer. It doesn't make you weaker. It doesn't make you less competitive. It makes you smarter and more efficient. Tom Brady going to the NFC was smarter and more efficient. It doesn't make him anything less.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live
Better look back on the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.